Ready.
Hey, what's up?
All's great. How about you, man? What's the week
Baruch
doing so far?
Hashem, Baruch Hashem. All is good and well. Just make sure that all of this is up and live. I think so. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. There we go. So what's happening?
Thank God, Monday's a whole week ahead. Lots of good things to plan. There's
Thank God.
always a lot of good hope at the beginning of the week. This is going to be the week we're going to do it all.
That's it, right?
And then the week happens. The week happens.
Baruch Hashem.
This is the beginning. We're getting there. We're going to do it.
That's it.
Kind of thing.
Okay, so last time we spoke about that amazingly insightful Va'ani Amarti B'Shalvi Bal Emot Le'olam. I thought as long as I do the good, the right and the good, and all things will be great and wonderful and lebedik, then nothing bad will ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in my control. And Rav Kook, who is the eternal optimist, tempers that by saying, no, that's not how it goes. It's not always up to us. We're not the ones that are always eternally, in control of everything. And that we still have to rely on the Ribbon Shalom. And that is I think the halfway point in this mizmor.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, right? That's
it's a turning point now, where sort of a person, sort of realizes the fear of living in a life without God.
Right.
Okay. World. Let's do it. So Hashem you start up on Echa, in your will you established me lahariyos. You set me up for strength, but when you hid your face, I was confused. I was distraught.
Right.
I was in trauma. So let's take a look at both of those sides of those pasuk. We're talking about where it does work and it doesn't work. So the first part, Hashem Hashem, you strengthen me for this sort of like this established power when you stood me up. So it says kol ha'omer kol ha'oisher ha'amitzi shel ramamus ha'matzav, all real happiness about ascent, who kashur rak boze, is tied only to this. She'oiz ha'ometz shel ha'aliyah ha'matzavis ha'emda shel ha'har sheli, is the strength of my situational ascent, establishing myself on my own mountain. I'm working. I'm doing it. I'm here. I'm working. Ma'amadi hagavoya, my established place, who novea mirtzoincha, is coming out of your will. Lo bekesher shel shum mikre siba or inyan acher. Wow, that's what he's saying. She'en lo oz shum erech v'shum idealiyot. Brilliant. If I think that my life is floating down the river, and I'm like a flotsam and jetsam, I'm just like a little branch that really is at the mercy of the current of life, then there's very little meaning that I can attribute to it at all.
Right.
And it's only when I'm able to it's only when I'm able to understand that everything that happens to me in life, the good, the bad, and the in between, is part of the divine ratzon, is that every moment has meaning. Every moment suddenly adds up. It's all connected. Like Aisha is just learning the Shabbos, the Rav Kook on the Gemara. The Gemara says that a person's supposed to be mechaven when they say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Echad. They're supposed to the ches and the ches, the dalid. The ches is the seven tiers from the top to the bottom, and the dalid is the expansion into this world. And it says that if a person does such a thing, then marichin lo yomav v'shonosav, that a person has lengthy life. So Rav Kook explains over there. He says that if you know where you're going, then every moment of life is going to be adding extra value to the direction that you're going, to the aspirations, the ideals that you live for. If you don't have an ideal and you're just like going with the wind, then every moment is a staccato bubble of inspiration or pleasure, but there's no connection between them. There's no direction. It doesn't add up to anything very consequential. And therefore, it really is pretty we'll call random and meaningless. So, he's saying is that when I know that I'm connected to your ratzon, that's my hariyos, that's my establishment. And I know that every piece of my life adds up to something much bigger. I'm going somewhere. I'm not just floating.
This deep sadness that people often have, in those staccato achievements. Like you speak to people and they say, I was having a conversation with a guy like a couple of days ago. He says to me, Rabbi, I learned for years. I was in good yeshivas and a good school, and I went to YU and I went to yeshiva, It's like, but nothing of what I've done has added up to anything. Like, just it's all in bits and pieces. It's like, I did a little bit of Daf Yomi here, and I did a little bit of Ian there, and I think there's two sides to this. The one is the insistence that we try not to do that. Is the have a seder, like put things in order, go through svarim and relationships and life and kaseder, right? That there's that the seder hadvarim is essential in creating some sentiment of meaning. But then there's the other side of it, which is the life by definition is going to be more staccato than our plans would have it be.
Usually, right?
Right? Meaning, it's very rare that you speak to somebody that says, "Yeah, I planned to do Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled in this time, in this space, in this place with these people, and it was all mushlam. Right? Everything worked out. Like there were no hiccups, no hangups, no anything." Like if you speak to somebody like that, you'll tell them you're underachieving, meaning you can do more. Like if everything that you plan works out perfectly, then you're underselling yourself. You could probably plan to do much more.
Rav Buchros used to say in Karim he used to say, Allah, he says, if you're living without any tension whatsoever, he says it's a sure sign you're no longer alive.
Right.
It's like we're all living against friction, man.
Right. If you have no friction, there's an issue.
Right.
Like if everything is working out as planned, but then you plan things. Meaning, not Meshuggah, fly to the moon kind of ideas. But you make Siddurim and you make plans and you set up meetings and you set up chavrusas and you have aspirations, and then like nobody accomplishes 100%. And then this is David HaMelech's feeling, like I just didn't accomplish 100%, and you're not even close to it. And then there's the question of, well, then what do all the pieces add up to? Like, does it make something? Did I do something? That's like this guy that I was speaking to said to me, I've been doing Daf Yomi for the last 2 years. I think I've got most of the dapim, but like not all. Have I done it? Like, I don't know. Like, is it worth it? Should I keep going? I'm like, yeah, it's a horror. You should keep going. That's what I'm saying. Like,
True.
Hashem Ritzalchem is that like if I can plug in all of my bits and pieces into that, like.
So actually, like the way he says it on the Gemara as well, it's just like a very beautiful, just my own expansion of it. But is that Achdus Hashem? When you're saying Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, what you're essentially saying is like this: is that really Achdus is unitary, right? Everything comes together. It's like one point. Like the idea of Olam Haba is a yud, one nakuda.
Right.
This world is expansion. So the hay of this world is essentially that dot. And it's the expansion of what Shapiro talks about. This sort of like it's like the two axes, the x and y axes of expansion. Anything and everything is possible in the details of that expansion, that dot.
Right.
That's the hay is. So what the echad is really that dalit, the four directions, right? That's the arba ruchos, where anything that could happen does happen. And the Shema is trying to say is that all of that stuff still comes from one point, right? It all comes back to, and if it all comes from one point, then even when I'm supposed to be going south and there's a river and I have to take a 30-mile trip to the east to get around that river, it's still part of the echad. It's still part of the journey. I'm still going in some way. It still matters. It still makes difference. That's still b'ritzoncha.
Right.
So
those are the detours with the GPS.
Yeah.
Right.
Recalculating route, man. It's the destination.
If there's a direction, so then there's so then the U-turn, even the U-turn is part of the plan.
Yeah.
Because there's a direction. Otherwise, you get to a roadblock and then you make a U-turn and you go, "Oy, Gewalt, now I'm not going to the same place anymore."
It's so funny, actually. I remember there was one time we missed a turn to the highway, and it was to turn around to do the U-turn to get back right. So, so it was 30 miles. 30 miles to turn around. There was just no turning points. We thought it was so clever. We got over a gas station. We thought we'd come out of the gas station. On the other side, there was like a fence. Not to get to the other side of the gas
Never fight with Waze.
Right, so it's just like
Waze is always right.
Like it was literally, but that's what life is. As long as you know that you're going somewhere, it may take a little bit extra time, but it's still you're going somewhere. That is that's what life is. So that's behind Tzoncha Ma'adariyos. It's like funny because when you read this pasuk, like in a very frummy kind of way, we're like, oh, everything Hashem is in our lives is your will. It's like that's not what he's saying. He's saying if we realize that everything really is Hashem's will, if we realize and that, then it all adds up. That's when I have oz in my life.
That's also Reb Tzadok and the Meshilach speak a lot about this in the world of tshuva. Is that often a person feels when a person wants to do tshuva. So, Ribbon Shalom, I'm so far from where I could have been and should have been and might have been if I wouldn't have messed up in this and that, like all the things that I messed up in. And then you say, Ribbon Shalom, this is not where you want me to be. I know where you wanted me. You wanted me to be there. You wanted me to be that guy. You wanted me to be doing those things. Now I'm not. And then you get to the point of like, what are we doing now? So to know that where you are now, that's where Ratzon Hashem is.
Exactly.
It's this point. Is that all the things have coalesced into this moment, in this spot. So the Kashan Samagid writes that Chazal say that the Lashon Ata is Lashon Tshuva. Ata Yisrael. Ata now. Because
right now.
What happens now? Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu has something, wants something, is asking something. That's Ata Yisrael. Now. So this is whenever you see in Chumash. So that's the Kodesh Maggid says. Whenever you see in Chumash the Lashon Ata, it means Tshuva.
Beautiful.
Start from here.
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful. So that closing the loop, he says, "V'hergesh hazeh," this emotion of realizing that everything comes together. Shakol ba v'noyor mirat haniskov v'amuchlak. It comes from Hashem's absolute will and want. Haloi hu misamek al yedei yediyah shel regeh ha'af. It's deepened by the moment of af. Shel oisa hamiut shel ra hashinui va'azam hanimtza b'tuchuna ha'avaya. Then it's actually deepened. Meaning, then those moments where it doesn't seem like it's working out, like God, was this on the plan here? I didn't see this on the menu. Like those kind of moments, the af moments are deepened because they're all coming from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the different pieces. So yeah, like always, as fun as like funny. Like I saw about this the other day. It's like we're like very into like why God. Like when things aren't working out, it's like why God me? It's like what about the other times? It's like the raise, the new job, the simcha. It's like why God, why me? Why did you give me so many wonderful things? It's like we got to realize that all of those moments add up. All of them come together from Hashem.
I think what he's adding here is almost coming full circle from everything that we've said so far.
Yes,
it's almost a deep philosophy of an understanding of evil.
Yes, exactly.
He's saying when things go wrong, the purpose of things going wrong
is also part of this.
Is to teach you that recalculating is also part of the plan.
Yes.
It's to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the recalculating, because that's the ikar.
Yeah.
The ikar is to know that, like, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere. And this is all the themes of David HaMelech throughout Tehillim. It's like to know where Hashem is and that Hashem is everywhere and that you can find Him. Or like Rav Nachman speaks about Aye Mekom Kavodah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be found wherever you scream Aye. Rav Kook is saying that this all comes to light specifically because things go wrong sometimes.
Yeah, it's so good because that was what we said before. In Kirega Ba'apoy, this is moments in anger, right? And then the Chaim B'Ritzon Hashem, really majority is good, but he's saying more than that now. It's not that just the majority is good. It's like even that moment is also is B'Ritzon Chalamadata Hariyaz.
But that's the point of it. The point of the setback is to know that you're still on the path.
Yes.
It's incredibly profound.
It is incredible.
It's yeah. Okay, so let's see. He started Banecha Hayisi Nival. You hid your face, and I was astounded. I was confounded. I think either of those two, right? I don't know. That's so he writes. This is, coming from what we've said, this is the experience of everybody that says, Bishalvi Bal Emat Le'olam, right? Everything is great. This is going to go forever. And then all of a sudden, he starts Banecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu hides his face.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, Shorish HaToiva Oisher, the root of goodness and happiness. B'musagay ha'amiti ha'pnimi, in a real and internal way. Enenu ki im ze ma sha'ani yodeh, is exclusively that which I know. Shebazeh ha'toiv ha'aros panecha ha'meir b'ziv ha'chesed hi mitzuya. Shebazeh ha'toiv. That this which I'm experiencing is good and is the expression of you looking at me, Ribono Shel Olam, that you are shining chesed on me. Meaning, good is defined by me knowing that this is part of Hashem's plan. That's what's called real good. He says, "Kol habitachon sheberuach ba mipnei hanehara shel ar Hashem." All of the trust that a person has internally comes from this this expression, this illumination of the light of Hashem. Haba'u mefia b'soich ha'yizgolos shel hamamad ha'meremein. That comes as a result of the revelation of the exalted and elevatedness of Hashem's position. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. And when we feel that this is good. It says, Male adirus hachesed. When Hashem is coming at us and we feel the chesed Hashem, we feel that this is good. It says, Uva'astarus upon him, and when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is hidden from us, meaning when we do not feel that Hashem is involved in us, we feel that this is happening without like kiviyachol Hashem's haskama. This is like, I don't see the good in this. I don't see where Hashem is in this. So he says, ha behala nimtes. That is when we are confounded, when we are confused. He says, Gam im kol hamatzav bechitzyonosai haya oimed ba'osa atzura hakduma. Even if nothing externally has changed. And that's incredibly profound.
Yeah.
He says, "Im kol t'na'ah hachitzoniyim," with all of the externalities, you have this Rahman al-Litzlan. Like, this is those moments when like a person shows up to work after like really chalishing for that job, and then they finally got the job, and they've been doing it for 6 months, and everything is going great, and then they come to work and they're just not feeling it. It's just not there. I don't feel it anymore. I'm not feeling it. People have that with marriages and with children, and with bosses and with jobs and with homes and with psychology talks about all of these things today, like buyer's remorse, right? Or like the having cold feet, that somebody's going to stand under the chuppah and be like, oh no, I don't know if I'm feeling this anymore. So it says even like everything is still exactly the same. Nothing has changed on the outside. Nothing's changed, and yet I feel our stars pun. It's amazing what he's saying here. It's not like the Hester Panev, like Rahman al-Litzlan, like the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Shoah. It's not saying like Va'anochi aster panei b'yom ahu.
No, it's the moment has passed. Right.
Right. This is nothing has even gone wrong. It's amazing, right? Nothing has gone wrong. Everything is still exactly as good as it was before, or exactly as bad as it was before. And yesterday, everything was great. I was coping. I was feeling great. And today, I'm not. Since he starts that's when I'm lost. He says, V'chol hatayv hazeh, all of this goodness, kol or hachaim, all of the light of life, v'chol malei ha'amitiyus shalahem, with all of the fullness of the truth that is within them, ba v'chayder elenu, comes and roots itself into us. It drills into us. Mitech osa ha'akara shel rega ha'af, comes as a result of that moment of anger.
Wow.
Shel miut hara sheb'mtzius, the lessening,
How little.
the
How
making,
little, yeah.
right, the making smaller of the ra that is in reality. Hamoira al I efsarusa b'chol ma'osa liyos ne'arechas haracha atmis. That makes everything understand and see that it is impossible for it to exist independently. Rak ha'aracha tina'is, everything is contingent. Lefi ha'avchana shel ha'hafa'ah asher la'or elokim chaim shechayder bai. Everything is contingent and dependent upon the light of Hashem shining through it and into it. That's
Wow.
right. That's incredibly profound. And he's saying even more than what we said before. Hashem b'ritzoncha amad lahariyah, that when a reg of af happens, so then you realize that before he said that the knowledge of the reg af and then the resolution of the crisis, the calamity. What we see in that is that everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is really the Baal Chesed.
Right.
We have the ability to contrast. But he's saying something even more profound here, which is on an emotional level, we can feel the absence and presence of Hashem in the way that we feel about the same thing on different days, at different moments. That's
right. I mean, what he's also saying is that one comes to realize that there's no space in our lives, in space and time, which can exist without Hashem, even the most dark of those moments. Right?
right.
Everything is specific. It's not conditional. It's very it was particularly set up.
So I think he's saying that, but he's also saying that everything is contingent on Hashem wanting it to be there. That's the Tanai.
Yes.
Right. That's the ultimate Tanai. I think this l'chara makes sense. You know, they have a Masorah from all the tzaddikim. The Gemara says like this, Reb Chanina ben Daisa, that if the tefillah was shkuru b'fiv, then he knew that it was oila.
Answered, right.
Right? If the tefillah came out like it was zarim, it felt good. The tefillah felt good, so then he knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was there, was in it. I think we talk about this, regularly. Like, I'm not feeling it today. Right? Well, I'm in it. I'm feeling it. Rav Kook is saying that feeling is either called Gilui Panim or Hester Panim. That's huge. Like, you come up with a good pshat in a tesis, right? Or you have a great conversation with somebody.
That's how I respond.
Because the same words to the same person might have felt differently. And nothing external would have changed. But everything changes. And that miyut hatov, that is a recognition of the fact that without HaKadosh Baruch Hu being meir or panav into everything that we do, then nothing is there.
Brilliant.
That's you know what I'm saying. This is im Hashem lo yivneh bayis shavam lo banav bay. Right? If Hashem's not building it, then nothing is happening.
It's not working.
That's siyata d'shmaya. I mean, without siyata d'shmaya, everything is meaningless.
Right, so it's very much a sort of personal relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in our lives.
Right. And this is David HaMelech's personal relationship.
Yeah.
He's saying there are times that I feel you, Rebbeinu Shalom. And when I don't, Hayisi Nivhal, that's when I am confounded. I say, Rebbeinu Shalom's not here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Right? That's when he turns to Hashem. And that's going to be the next pasuk.
Yeah, right. This turns a person towards Hashem. Right now, he's sort of philosophizing. He's looking at his life. The next step is his tefillah itself.
Right.
Beautiful.
My dear sweet and holy friend.
It's
always good to see you. We'll see you next week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you. And we'll see you later.